Last night we said the AEW Dynamite ratings were back from the dead like The Undertaker. Well, now it is time to sit up like the dead man and take notice of the AEW Dynamite quarter by quarter hour numbers because it's the best it's been looking in a long, long time. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. And I just get something clean off the plate here before anyone jumps in, before any numbnuts jumps in here, because I've noticed that you can't say one positive thing about AEW without a lot of WWE fucking fanboys getting butthurt. We've never really praised AEW, right? We thought maybe they had a couple of shows that weren't horrible over the past few weeks, and we noticed that they did one of their best ratings in the past 10 weeks outside of the CM Punk show. We made a video saying that there was a decent spike in the rating. Did we say the rating was good? No. The rating's still under 800k. We know that shit. We know that Dynamite used to be getting regularly every week around 1.2, sometimes 1.3. A couple of times they did 1.4. We've never said this 787,000 rating was good. We never said that. But what we're saying is it's up on what we're used to over the past couple of months, because over the past couple of months, AEW Dynamite has barely made the 700k mark, and when it does break 700k, it's barely. I think they've got 3 shows sitting at 703k, 709k, and 711k. So, they have really struggled. Outside of the CM Punk All-In footage, this is the best show that they've done in about 10 or 11 weeks, right? So we never said it was a great rating. We just said it's an improvement on what they've been doing. And if you're so fragile that hurts you, then go and take a flying fuck to yourself.
I absolutely agree with that. I used to think it was the AEW fanboys that were bad.
Yeah,
they're all bad.
No, because
even the TNA fanboys.
Yeah, we bashed AEW all the time, and the WWE fans jump in and they're like, yeah, this company sucks. Yeah, you're right. But then we give AEW a couple of compliments, and all of a sudden people can't handle it, man. People can't accept it. You've got people flat out lying, saying that AEW Double or Nothing had no stories compared to WWE. I mean, what are you watching? I mean, and then people saying that we're claiming this is a great rating when we're not. We're speaking facts. It's an improvement on what AEW has been doing.
Look at Friday Night SmackDown tonight. Oh, Cody Rhodes set to appear and Nia Jax is going to have a ceremony.
Wow, what amazing stories right there.
Where's his ingredients?
Amazing stories. But we never said this rating was great. All we said was it's an improvement. And I bet you Tony Khan is looking at this thinking, happy days. Because we're going to go through the quarter by quarter hours. And just looking at the numbers here, it's a clear improvement. AEW actually finished in quarter 8 with over 700k. Their lowest quarter was quarter 4. We haven't seen that for the longest time. Normally with AEW, they start off quarter 1 with their highest, and then it's just a continuation of losing fuse. That didn't happen on this show. There was only one quarter under 700k, and it was quarter 4. This show, for some reason, actually held steady after quarter 2. And I think they need a little bit of praise for that. Now, was it because of Double or Nothing? Was it because MJF was expected to be on the show? Was it because Mercedes Moné was the new champ? Was it because there was basketball or something on? We don't know. It's impossible to tell. But right now, this does look positive. It looks better than the last 2 months have looked, certainly for sure, for AEW.
No, it does. It looks better for them. So, I mean, we have to say that. We can't lie and say it looks horrendous, because what has been horrendous is the fact that they have been horrendous. I mean, this is half decent compared to what it has been the past couple of months.
If you look at quarter 1, if you take quarter 1, then the overrun, I mean, what? They lost 81,000 views between the beginning of the show and the end of the overrun. That's good, because we've seen Dynamites where they're about 500,000 down.
Oh, aye. So, I mean, if you're only losing 81,000, that's good.
Or 400,000 down. So, the fact that they're only 81,000 down is definitely an improvement. But let's get into it. Quarter 1, 8 o'clock to 8:15. Mercedes Moné live promo. Sky Blue comes out and attacks. So, we get a Double or Nothing recap. And then we get Killswitch versus Swerve Strickland. 931,000. This is more like it. Also, we've seen for like the past 6 weeks, 2 months, that AEW has been kicking off with a lower quarter one. We don't know what happened with the Big Bang Theory. They were getting that big lead in, but we've seen in recent weeks that AEW Dynamite has been starting at like the mid 700 territory, and that's been doing them no favours. But this week it's a return to the 900k mark. That definitely helps.
Yeah, it definitely helps. I mean, I think young Sheldon being over, I think that helps them big time, because I think that's the reason why Big Bang Theory hasn't been on. But you can talk about basketball all you want. 9-3-1 is much better than the mid-sevens.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, it's numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie, Scott Steiner said.
Right, now we go into quarter two. And really, this was the only big hit that Dynamite took. There was another hit during the show, but they pretty much gained that audience straight back. But we go into quarter two. It's not great. 21% tune out. So, I mean, you know, a fifth of your audience is just left here for the continuation of Killswitch versus Strickland and a Jon Moxley backstage promo. That isn't good because Strickland's your world champion, and Jon Moxley, you could argue, is the guy that AEW's been built on. You know, if you had to think of one guy that AEW has pushed as their top guy, you could certainly make the case it is Jon Moxley in the 5 years this company's existed. So for them to lose 21%, this did 739,000, so almost 200,000 people tuned out. To lose that amount when you've got your world champ and your top guy, one of your top guys in there, that's not great. And there's no way to spin that. It's just
no, there is
shit.
No way to spin. It's your world champ. It's Jon Moxley. Maybe it just proves that they're just not very good draws, are they?
No, but let's move into quarter three. We got Chris Jericho, Big Bill, Brian Keith, Hook, Samoa Joe, Live Angle, The Learning Tree. We then got a Stephanie Fakir video and Rocky Romero versus Jon Moxley. This went up 6% in the viewership to 787,000, and it went up 7% in the demo to 347,000. You just know Jericho's going to be tweeting about this. You just know Jericho's going to be bragging about this. He will be praying that his quarter performed, and to be fair to him, it did. You know, he got a 6% increase and a 7% increase in the demographic. So, I mean, he'll be happy with this. And it's decent, 787,000. It's not bad.
I mean, it could be worse for Jericho. He could have lost another 21%.
I mean, considering how bad the segment was, I kind of expected the audience to tank here. Although, going into quarter four, the audience did indeed tank, and who knows, maybe it was Jericho that sent them packing.
Maybe it's just Moxley. Moxley's involved in 2 segments that crumbled.
2 segments that lost a combined, 33% of the audience. Both of those segments lost 17% in the key demo. It was the continuation of Romero versus Moxley. We then got Joe and Hook backstage, and then we then got Don Callis and Orange Cassidy in a Live Angle. I mean, anytime I see Orange Cassidy, I just want to tune out. This lost 12%, down to 689,000, and it was the only quarter to go under 700k.
Yeah, so that's quite bad. I mean, also, 17% down in the demographic, matching the opening or the second.
Yeah, I mean,
quarter.
it's quite bad, but I mean, it's pretty good in terms of over the past month. Literally, they've dropped into the 600k mark at around quarter two, and they've not got back over it.
Yeah, so but again, you're basing it off the recency of the shit.
But that's what you have to base it on. I mean, they can't base it on the 1.2 that they used to get, because that's a couple of years ago.
That's a pipe dream away.
You know, it's like, no one's saying to WWE that the Raw ratings should be compared to the Attitude Era ratings, because realistically, that's over 20 years ago. But you need to try and compare it with recent history, right? There's no reason why Raw can't be getting into the 2s.
No. 2s
is doable. You just had a 2 at WrestleFucking-Mania, so you put on a good show, you can get it. I'm not saying that Dynamite should be trying to get back to the 1.2, the 1.3, but I think their first goal should be getting back over 800k and then doing that regularly and then trying to aim for the 900k, then try and get back above the million. No one's saying that you click your fingers in the space of 1 week and you're expected to find 500,000 viewers and get back to your 1.2, 1.3. I'm not saying that. But I think it's only one step at a time. And I think the fact that they only had one quarter go under 700k when there's been a couple of weeks where they've only had one quarter over 700k, that's a massive turnaround.
No, it is a massive turnaround, and another massive turnaround's quarter 5, with a plus 13% increase up to 779.
779,000. This was the Callis, Cassidy, Trent Barretta, Chris Statlander, Stokely Hathaway continuation of the promo. Then we got Daniel Garcia and Matt Menard backstage, and then we got the beginning of Monet versus Blue.
I think this is simply just due to the fact it's the beginning of the R.
Could be. I mean, do we give Mercedes Monet some credit here? Because the next quarter 6, not only did it hold, it actually increased. And for that to increase, quarter 5 needs to be good. Because you always see a drop-off after quarter 5 because it is the top of the hour. But quarter 6 actually went up a little bit. So should we give Mercedes Monet some credit? Also, quarter 5 had a 16% increase here in the 18 to 49 demo. Look, I know a lot of people will bury Mercedes Monet because they don't like her and they just want to say she's been a failure in AEW. And I don't think she's worth the money. I don't think she's worth being paid as the highest female of all time. What I will say is, out of the 3 big signings, allegedly big signings that Tony Khan made in that short period of time, I think she's the one that's offered the most for her buck. Pun intended.
No, I would agree.
I mean, she's the one with a video on YouTube with over 1 million views. She's the one that when she debuted it, the first quarter had over 1 million viewers. When was the last time an AEW quarter in quarter 1 had over 1 million viewers that wasn't like basketball or something related like that?
Yeah, you were looking at it a long time ago, but I mean, I would probably rank it Monet, Ospreay, Okada. I think Ospreay's doing stuff on his own. Okada is a background character in the Elite.
Yeah, well, let's talk.
Shut up, bitches.
Let's talk about quarter 6 here. So it was a continuation of Monet versus Blue, post-match with Fager. Then we got Hathaway, Statlander backstage, an MJF video, and the beginning of the Elite Live promo. So again, this went up 2%, 791,000, almost getting to that 800k mark. I think that's impressive that they went into quarter 6 and they didn't lose after quarter 5. So
yeah, no, that is fair play. Increasing on both demographic as well.
Quarter 7, we have 9:30 to 9:45. It's the continuation of the Elite. Christopher Daniels, who came out and announced a match for Friday Night Dynamite. His first official appearance as the interim, whatever Tony Khan's position is, and he made a match for Friday Night Dynamite. Thoughts on that?
Friday Night Dynamite.
You'd one job, Christopher Daniels, and you fucked it up.
Yeah, that is quite bad for Christopher Daniels. And again, higher par. If he can't make it work,
power cut.
I mean, what would have happened in the Monday Night Wars if this guy was the higher par? I think WCW would have came back. You talk about back from the dead. I think WCW would have won.
It was me, Austin. It was me all along. Anyway, quarter 7 contained that. The Acclaimed, Billy Gunn came out. Swerve Strickland backstage promo. We got a Rush backstage promo. Then we got the beginning of the gauntlet match. Jay White versus Pac kicked it off. This went down 2%, 778,000. Quarter 8, when the main event, just the continuation of the gauntlet match, only went down 1%, 772,000. And then the overrun, which was 7 minutes from 10 to 7 minutes past 10, so a 7-minute overrun. We just had the continuation of the Forbidden Door Casino Gauntlet match with Ospreay winning and then Strickland coming out to confront him and look at him and basically accept his challenge. This got a 10% increase to 850,000 and was the second highest thing on the show. If you don't count, well, the highest thing on the show if you don't count quarter 1. Now, I wouldn't really look too much into that. I'd say the 10% increases because maybe people were expecting the 10 o'clock show to come on and they've been greeted with AEW. But even if you take that overrun away, it's still consistently decent, I think, from Dynamite. The fact that most of their segments were high 700,000s, and they have not seen that in a very long time.
No, I'd agree, but also you've also got the ending of a show based around a number 1 contendership. WWE just whipped out one to Logan Paul. Boring as fuck. What do you want to talk about? Your opponent is Logan Paul. No, yeah, did they do LA Knight against Styles? Yeah, they did that not too long ago, but I think WWE really lacks number 1 contendership matches.
Now, yes, they do, and I said that this was a match full of jobbers, full of bums, and I've had people saying no, it wasn't. let's go through the people that were actually in this gauntlet match. Now, keep in mind, Tony Khan claims that the rankings matter. Where was the top guys ranked in this match? I do not know. But here's the guys in the match. With Jay White versus Pac versus Mystico versus Claudio Cascanoli versus Cassidy versus Will Ospreay versus Herichirio versus Leo Rush versus Shota Umanino. I mean, Mystico, Hirashiro, Leo Rush, Shota Umanino. I mean, we might know the name Leo Rush, but that doesn't take away from the fact this guy is an absolute jobber. You've got Mystico, a guy that botched as Sin Cara, 14 years ago, and he botched in this match too. And then we've got two guys that I have genuinely never heard of, Hichisirio and Shota Umanino.
Yeah,
so,
whose idea was it to book these? I mean, to me, the first half of the match is just way stronger than the second half. I mean, you've got Jay White, Pac, Claudio, and Ospreay, right? I know that's 5 out of 8, but again, it's how can the final 3 in the match be those 3?
But where's the top guys?
No, there's no top guys, but fuck me, No, but that's why Tony Khan shouldn't create rankings, man. He creates rankings and then he creates... See, unless you're going to stick with them properly, don't fucking do them. They're stupid. Makes no sense.
Where's your Christians, your Daniel Bryansons? Where are these guys?
Well, Daniel Bryan has currently got Tony Khan bent over in front of him because that's what Tony Khan says he wants to do for him.
Well, guys, there you go. That is it. I mean, look, is it great numbers? No. But is it an improvement on what they've been doing recently? Absolutely, yes. And, I mean, if you're an AEW fan, if you're Tony Khan, you have to look at this in a positive matter because it's an improvement. It's a big improvement on what you've been doing. And the only way AEW is doing so bad at the moment, the only way to go is up. And they went up this week. But can they continue to go up next week? I'm going to predict no. I know it's sad, but I just... it's not a great rating, but I just can't see them topping this next week.
No, they won't. Well, MJF's on it next week.
Well, I could do something for them. But also the consistency, it's not like they benefited from a really high rating and then just lost viewers after viewers after viewers. After quarter 2, I mean, they were super consistent. Quarter 2 was their second lowest quarter of the show. And that just has not happened recently. With Dynamite, it's just been lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. Whereas this week, the second hour actually held. Look how consistent the second hour was. You got 779, 791, 778, and 772. I mean, the last hour effectively didn't move. It didn't budge.
And that's what you need.
If
you're not
super
going up,
consistent.
You don't want to go down.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it looks... it's a decent week for AEW. It's not kissing ass. It's just telling the truth. And, if AEW can continue to do this, then it's a step in the right direction. And, for 1 minute, it looked like they were going to die. And for people that are saying, oh, AEW Dynamite is going to die or whatnot, look at the state of TNA, alright? They've been on life support for as long as we can remember.
Yeah.
So,
comatose.
Yet people are annoyed that I said AEW come back from the dead. I mean, how can AEW can't die before TNA dies?
No.
AEW could be shite for the next 50 years.
It's got unlimited money. TNA's had no money for years.
And it's still going.
Aye.
So therefore, this company will be alright. Don't worry about it, guys. Anyway, till next time. Peace.